Hey, everybody. It's Friday night, and this is our new RV lifestyle virtual campfire. So gather around, pour yourself a cup of coffee or glass of wine, or we don't have anything here. And Jennifer will be with me in just a minute. She's cleaning up a couple of things and getting ready to come. So she'll be here in a few minutes. I'm Mike Wendland. Welcome to our Friday night virtual campfire. And this is what we have been doing now for, I think this is the third one that we have done. As all of us are continuing to hunker down because of this coronavirus. And we've been using this to kind of update you on some of the things that have happened that would be affecting RVers, and then to talk about questions and all of the like. Wow, a lot of you here, over 151 of you standing by, and more joining as we talk. It's kind of fun to watch that count go up. So it's it's pretty great. And our first people on are Davis, Tandy, and Buster. And I'll put that question up when Jennifer comes by in a couple of minutes. But Bo is here with me. Bo, come here. Say hi. There's Bo. Bo hears me talking. And when we start doing this, Jennifer and he comes up all the time and hangs out with us. And I think he wonders who we're talking to. So let's talk about it. Here comes Jennifer. Hey, did you bring yourself a drink? A glass of water? That's her drink.
Water.
I know some of you are sitting by, so make yourself at home. And just a couple of housekeeping. If you have a question, type them all in caps at the top. Say question, then we'll know how to take it. But my dear, we have our first question, and then we'll get into some of our announcements. This is from Davis, Tandy, and Buster. Jennifer, is Mike driving you nuts yet? Must be like a caged hummingbird.
As long as Mike has the internet, he is happy. You're always doing something.
Yeah.
So you are happy. You are happy. Actually, I am the one that's probably driving him nuts because I want to exercise.
Yep.
And I know you can exercise different ways, but I'm a creature of habit. I
Yep.
want to go use my machines at the gym. I'm losing weight and I'm thinking I'm losing muscles. 1 week of not exercising, you lose 3 weeks worth of conditioning. It's just my obsession.
It is an obsession. Let me just tell you that. She's just a little cranky. But that's between you and me. There are a couple things that happened today. Let me get these announcements out of the way, and then we can kind of all chat around our virtual campfire here today. First of all, we are still in Florida. We're at Okaloosa Island, Florida. We have a video out tomorrow. It'll go out tomorrow about 8 a.m. And we shot it this week. We kind of just gave you a look at our lives here as we're kind of in lockdown. I think we show them a little bit of the condo. We show this system that we're using now. We show you how we are urged to only go out to go for a walk, to go to a dog park with Bo, but to stick, not do any social contact. And we show you the closed beaches, and we put it together, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But we want it. We say in the video, you say in the video that you don't want people mad at us.
Right, because we're at the beach. Who's going to feel sorry for us?
Yeah.
And we don't want you mad at us.
The beaches are closed, but we can get pretty close to it at our condo.
We
here.
can look at it. We can hear it.
And this is a condo. Many of you are regular. You know that we this is one of our ways to earn some supplemental income while we're supposedly retired. And it's a rental condo. And so we come down every year about this time. We kind of get it ready for the rental season. And that's going to lead me right into our first announcement. The rental season in the Panhandle, the Emerald Coast where we are now, runs from roughly, this time of year on through August. And so we always come and get it ready, and then we hit the road. We had expected to be now in New Mexico and Arizona and maybe even Southern California doing some traveling. But that has obviously changed. We thought about going back to Michigan when this all began to hit about 2.5 weeks ago. But we stayed here, and I think we made a wise choice. This area is not as affected as other parts of the country are, and that's one of the things, despite the fact that you saw a lot of crazy pictures with spring breakers a couple of weeks ago, particularly down around Daytona and Fort Lauderdale. The beaches were closed. They all went home. Our beaches here are closed. We did have a lot of people visiting this area. These have, I think, the best beaches in the country, really.
This is the first time I've seen spring breakers in our area, so I always
Yeah.
wonder if people chase them out and then they keep going to different areas.
But anyway, they all were chased out. And we have you can see the video tomorrow. I don't want to repeat everything that's in the video, but we'll show you that. But don't get mad at us because we happen to be here. We are hunkered down here. Our RV's out in the parking lot, and we are staying put. And we urge you to do the same thing. Now, Florida has particularly addressed this situation. Besides asking and pretty much closing all of the public beaches in the whole state of Florida, they have also, as of today, canceled all vacation rentals in Florida for the next 2 weeks at least. Now, I don't know what that means to people who maybe have a rental that they've paid for and they're supposed to show up Saturday. There are a few of those. We had a couple people in our development here that came in, but very few people. I'm looking at a neighboring condo development, and I see 2 cars in probably 100-car parking lot. So there are fewer people here. But Florida announced all the vacation rentals would stop. But the most significant thing, and this is the announcement I want to talk about, is the governor, Ron DeSantis, announced that checkpoints are now being placed on the borders of the state, particularly along like the I-10 corridor leading from New Orleans to the west, to I-75, to I-95. All the major roads into the state of Florida will have checkpoints, and people will be turned back. They're going to be encouraged to turn around and go back where you came from, particularly if you have plates on your vehicle from one of the states that has a shelter-in-place order. And there's a lot of them: Michigan, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Illinois, and many others around the country are doing that. That's a significant development, and it affects RVers a lot. One of the problems is that people in high infected areas, like New York in particular, also Michigan and Ohio, also Indiana, Illinois, all those areas, decided, let's go to Florida.
You got a couple weeks off, so let's go.
Yeah.
And let's get out of here.
And you can't blame them.
Yeah, I would want to get out of there too.
All of the state parks are closed, and many of the private parks are either filled or some of them are being closed as well as non-essential businesses. They should be essential because that is the home for the million or so out of the 10 million that are full-time RVers. They need to live in a park. But anyway, if you're thinking about coming to Florida, don't. And what I want you to think about is that that's going to happen in other states. Checkpoints at the state lines keeping visitors and tourists out. I'm not here to debate that. I'm telling you that's the reality because we all know how serious this virus is now. We've seen all of the coverage. Now, as it affects RVers, I mentioned in our Sunday night Ask Us Anything live stream that we had heard from some RVers that they were beginning to encounter hostility as they traveled around the country in different communities. That is increasing, and it's going to get worse because many communities are now looking at these spiraling rates, and they're worried about RVers from other places, other states, coming into their communities and overtaxing their systems. I don't want to argue the legitimacy of that worry. I'm just telling you that it's there, and if you're traveling, it's going to be a challenge, and it's going to only increase until this ends. So my advice again, stay put, hunker down wherever you can. If you're on your way someplace, get there as fast as you can. Many rest areas are shut down. You don't have restrooms to use. Almost all the fast food stores, they may have takeout.
But you don't have restrooms.
They don't have restrooms. And if you're in a big RV, you have trouble parking them. So, all this is to say, this is not the time to be traveling. I've seen 2 stories today in major publications. The LA Times had one. I think it was a Wall Street Journal, and some of the services had picked it up about RVers, and that some of them were still carefree out there on the road, or they were renting vehicles as mobile bunkers. All this is just not going to fare well for traveling until these restrictions are lifted. Now they will be, but that's important. So again, stay put. Stay put. And I hope you can find an area. We've been blessed to have this place here in Florida, our condo, where we can stay. And here we are. And I don't know how long we'll be here, but you'll see tomorrow what it's like. There are restrictions, but it's still, when you're in Florida in nice weather, it's you won't feel sorry for us. Let me just tell you that, and you shouldn't, because this is a minor sacrifice. This area has been much less affected than the rest of the country, and I think a lot of it is because most of those spring breakers went home 2 weeks ago, and it takes 14 days to get this. Okay, those are our announcements. Now let's get to your questions and just interact with you. But don't get mad at us when we say put the RV lifestyle on pause, put it on hold for a while, right?
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
And what about all the people trying to get home?
I think many of them are home on our Facebook group. This is the one resource that if you haven't joined that already, take a look at that. There's a lot of people who've been sharing their travel experiences there. You can ask questions about different routes, different communities. I've seen a couple of people on our Facebook group who said, hey, if you're coming through our area and you need a place to overnight, stay in our driveway. All that's really great. Everybody helping each other out. But it's tough. We do have a question, and let me give that question. And here's one from Diane. He says, we're trying to get home to Vermont. We're starting to have a hard time finding parks in Pennsylvania and wonder if New York is going to be a problem. Have you heard anything about New York? Yes, it is very hard to find a park. Same with Pennsylvania. So I don't know where you are now, Diane, but drive through. Drive all the way through. Take turns driving. Get home. Just get home as fast as you can. You may, you might have to sleep in, pull off the road. There's a lot of empty parking lots of businesses. Pull into a business and take a nap, sleep for a couple of hours. If you get a knock on the door, just explain to the officer, hey, we're on our way home. It's unsafe to drive. We had to pull over for a couple hours. We're leaving soon. But drive through. Get home as fast as you can, right? Mm-hmm. So Diane, let us know how you do. Road Trip Buddy, do you think the RV industry will take a hit from what's happening? Well, they are now, in the sense that they have stopped production. Thor, Winnebago, all of their companies, Pleasure Way, and many of the smaller companies have all stopped production and have urged their employees to stay home. So they already have been on, a crazy schedule of building, trying to meet demand. They all had a lot of back orders, and so that's only going to increase when they get back into business. But overall, I don't think it's going to cause a hit to the industry.
We really think that the industry's going to grow like crazy when it comes back, because people are going to not want to stay in hotel rooms. You're going to want your space. You're going to want clean. You're going to want to be self-contained. You're going to want your own bathroom. Those poor bathrooms at the gas stations are already dirty. Can you imagine what they're going to be like now? Yeah. Everybody using them, or not all gas stations, but I think people are going to want.
So there'll be
have bug out vehicles.
I think two things are happening. And one, I always say this, and people get mad at me, but please don't get mad at me. It's just my opinion. You might have a different one. I think this, first of all, is going to cause a lot of people to think about being a full-timer and getting rid of their sticks and bricks home. There are about 1 million full-timers out there out of 10 million RVers. Most of them have a place, or they don't get rid of everything and live in their RV. About 1 million out of the 10 million. And I've heard from so many of them who've said, this is really scary because this is my home, but I have no place to park it. And now we've never seen anything like this, and hopefully we'll never see anything about it again. But it certainly is something that those of you who are thinking about selling everything and starting this life, I would consider that. And if there's a way to maybe start the travel once things lessen, get used to it, make sure you like it before you get rid of your sticks and bricks. Think about that.
If you're going to sell your house, make sure you've got relatives, kids, just relatives or friends, a really good friend, that it's okay to stay with them for a couple of months.
Yeah. And So, but I think that there's a lot of pent up demand, and I think, as Jennifer says, that when things get back to normal, a lot of people are going to say, I don't feel like going to Europe right now. I don't feel like flying on an airplane right now. I do need a vacation, so an RV is going to be. I think it's big, and I think I've talked to a couple of manufacturers. If you haven't listened to our podcast from this week, you can see the video version of it here on our Interview of the Week segment, and check that out. And the industry seems to think that too. So check it out. First Motorhome says, "Hey guys, thinking of you. Love from the UK. You guys are having a rough time there too. Thank you. I know your Prime Minister now has tested positive for this, as I think your Health Minister has as well. This is everywhere. It is everywhere. We've not seen the spike. We were told that that New York would be the spike first, and then it would go elsewhere. And we're seeing now, particularly in our home state of Michigan, Illinois, to our west, New Orleans is really hard hit. So this spike is on the way, and we're going to still see that for some time probably." This is a weird question. Do you guys always drive your RV around, or do you have a car at your home?
We have a car.
Yeah,
that we use.
Yeah, we went out last night for dinner, and by out for dinner that means we went to a takeout restaurant, and one of our favorite restaurants. We've been there during hurricanes. They're open.
It's called Back Porch in Destin.
Yeah, if you're
when you get ever here, in the area,
it's great. Best fish sandwiches in Florida, we think. So we went and had our bronzed amberjack fish sandwich, but we ate in our car. And we said, why didn't we bring the RV? Because usually you don't take the RV because it's so crowded.
Are you going to tell them the true story?
What?
The night before we were going to go.
You have to tell everything?
We were going to get a carryout, and Mike said, "I'm not eating in the car." And I said, "Well, I'm not carrying it home because it's going to get soggy. You got to eat it as soon as you get it." So we didn't go out. And then we talked to our oldest son, and our oldest son said, "Well, why didn't you take the RV?"
Oh.
And so I told him that's why he makes the big bucks.
Yeah. So, but normally we got a car because it's awkward to take it everywhere when it's so congested, which it usually is. So we've always had to keep a car at our condo here. And
normally this restaurant that we got the food from last night,
it is
so...
It's an hour to get in.
Oh,
always
yeah.
A wait.
It's very hard to get into, and there was no traffic on the street. It's only a 10-minute drive.
We're going to probably try a couple more takeout places. It's just nothing else. It's good to support these local businesses that are just hanging on by their fingernails as they're, with their business gone at the most productive time of the year for them. So we'll try and eat out, and I think we'll take the RV, and we can, it's much more comfortable. We have a little table in there, and we'll try it.
Because we can get it's not that hard to get a parking spot these days.
Here's a question also from overseas. This is from the Philippines. Are any of the B+ manufacturers looking to expand production to the Philippines? Importing one prohibited because of the 100% luxury tax. I don't know of any of them that would do that. Any of them. It's just, they can't meet the demand in North America. So why would they think about going through all the hassle of your 100% luxury tax in the Philippines now? So no. Your best way is to buy one and bring it in yourself if you can afford that tax. But they can't meet the demand in North America, so they wouldn't be expanding.
Well, yeah, build a factory over there.
Yeah, so it gets pretty crazy. Again, as Chris, thanks to Chris for being online with us tonight. Put comment or question before your comments so we can see them. Thanks, Chris, for helping moderate all of this with us tonight. And John and Carol. Flamingo. So we spoke to that group in Tampa. Mm-hmm. My goodness, how things have changed. That was just, I don't know, 8 weeks ago. January, we were at the Tampa Super Show, and that's an RV owners group. They invited us to come have dinner and talk, and the Flamingos, we love those guys. And how things have changed. Could any of us have seen that? It was an amazing time. Lots of you online and saying hi, and we appreciate that. We may come back and we'll pick up some of those, but right now we're just going to look for those of you who are questions. Here's somebody else that's driving, working his way home slowly to Quebec. He's in Virginia now. I think that's where he's going, Quebec. But now Pennsylvania campgrounds are closed, but TT helping a lot by extending stays. I don't know what that means. don't want to get there early. I don't know. I can't translate that, but be careful out there. Get home. This is not a time to be
not
leisurely.
everybody can drive 24 hours
I know,
straight.
and that's
You might have a spouse that doesn't drive at all, and for one person, might have a reason they can't do that.
yeah, yeah. Here's our friends Leslie and Greg in Naples. We had a meet up with you guys about 3 weeks ago down in Naples with some RVers. And again, who could have guessed that it would get like that? That was the last meetup we've had. We've postponed all of our meetups. We're not having any more meetups until this ends. If people are wondering if we're going to do any meetups, nope. Social distancing. We're doing this. That's why we added this Friday night thing. Anyway, he says, saw your interview with Dean from Leisure Travel Van. And it says that we're certainly concerned as we have a coach on order. They are still building, Greg. So as of Tuesday, when I talked to Dean, they were still building. I've not heard anything about them stopping production. But Dean did admit and did say that the big challenge to those who are still in business will be parts. Because many of the parts that go into these RVs come from all over the world. Air water pumps and air conditioners and all of the appliances and everything that's from everywhere. And those things are going to right now they're coming in as manufacturers and parts suppliers exhaust their inventory, their existing inventory. They're closed and they won't be building new ones for a while. So there's going to be some delay. But hopefully you are close enough to the process that yours is still being built. Deb Castle is in Massachusetts, made it home Tuesday after an 88 trip. Good. Glad you're home, Deb. You'll be out on the road again, but just not for a little while. Ricardo is in Hunker Down, Georgia. That's where we all are, Ricardo. And lots of you saying hi. I love seeing those questions. I love seeing the questions, too. Breezy, too. Where are you hearing from around the country on border closings? Outer Banks, Florida Keys. Well, the Outer Banks are closed. The Florida Keys are closed. And as of today, there are checkpoints now at the major roads leading into Florida, manned by the Highway Patrol, urging people to turn around and go back. I believe there are some in the western part of the country, and there's just so many now that I can't keep track of them all. I mentioned Florida because that's with this weather that's so nice down here this time of year. That's a place that many people in those shelter-in-place states up north say, well, let's go to Florida. We're home anyway. Well, don't, because they don't want you in the state. And that's the problem, bringing so many new people in. First of all, the supplies here are pretty good, I think, now. Most of the stores have everything you need.
Isn't the whole country that way?
I think it's getting better.
I think at first people initially hoarded, but I think everything's okay now.
We were seeing toilet paper on the shelves.
Mm-hmm. Can't buy a thermometer. Don't even think about that.
Yeah, thermometers are gone. That's good. And the darn thing about this is every time you get we're in the worst, all the trees are in bloom here, all the flowers and the shrubs, so the pollen there's like a haze in the air.
Bo sneezes when he goes outside. And me, I'm the,
So we sneeze and we tend to have, raw throats and we cough and whenever either one of us coughs, we go, because if you got it, I got it.
That's right.
Because we don't practice social distancing. Oh, life would be horrible if you had to practice social distancing and everything. But you worry and, you hear so much of that stuff. So.
And I think a lot of people are getting tests because it's allergy season. I mean, the pollen is just really crazy here.
Yeah. And those of you who are in the, online, you can see in the comment room, everybody checking in from all across the country, all across the world, really. And it's really, really great. We have a lot of people that are watching us live, and it's going to go.
Refresh.
That's looking really good, and I'm just looking here to see who is. Some of these are earlier ones. Let's go through. Lots of you talking. Don't forget, do me a favor and put question or comment all in caps so that I can take those questions and we can answer those as I scroll through here. For example, Ron has a comment. He says, I just got my 2014 SS Agile detailed with Ceramic Pro Silver, and I wish I had done this years ago. Isn't that great? A non-COVID-19 comment. Thanks, Ron. Yeah, that must look really sharp. That Ceramic Pro Silver Plus. I bet that looks really great. And yeah, this is a great time to do a little maintenance and repairs and updatings. That's good. What kind of a question is Bo? Actually, his name is B.O., like in body odor. Only it's
He does
Bo,
tend to be a
like
stinky
Bo
Bo.
Diddley. And he is?
Our Norwegian elk hound. And he's a very hairy, about medium, they call him a medium-sized dog. Bo is about 65 pounds. And usually he's sleeping right behind us right now.
And Bill answer that. Thanks, Bill. I love it when you guys answer the questions. And don't forget, don't hesitate to do that and interact with everybody online, because this is our virtual campfire. And, you know, when you get a big group at a campfire, there's a million conversations going on at once, and we can do the same thing. Peter Francis has a great idea. Springtime's here, pontoon boating soon after this coronavirus pandemic, and that's good. David Dodd is in Japan. He says Tokyo is going to be locked down too. I'm surprised they aren't already. This all over the world, this thing. Are you able to fly your drone over the closed beach with no people? They had some restrictions here because we're right near Eglin Air Force Base, and I was able to do it once when maybe several years ago I did it, and I went out early in the morning and there weren't many people on it, but I have not tried to do it since then. Maybe I'll do that, but I could fly my drone right from our balcony. Again, tomorrow we're releasing a video tomorrow that shows what it's like being hunkered down here in the panhandle of Florida. Again, where we're not nearly as affected as many of you are. We are told no unnecessary travel. Look, there's somebody walking down the middle of the street, the main street here. Because there's so little traffic. I can't show you. I wish I could turn the camera around. But we're told no unnecessary travel. You can go to the stores. They have early morning hours just for those over 60. Mm-hmm. The stores are well stocked. The drugstores are open, but pretty much everything else is closed. Restaurants have to-go or curbside
Not all
pickup.
restaurants, but a lot of them.
Yeah, most of them are closed, though,
Mm-hmm.
I think. And a lot of them are trying to keep as many people employed as they can, so they have to-go orders and stuff. But again, look at that video tomorrow and take a look at that and see how that's going to. Jeffrey Brown says it's going to get that way in Canada, maybe. You have a lot more open space out there once you get past the big cities, so it might not be too bad. Have you ever thought about taking your 9 years of RVing and make a feature-length film? You know, that would be fun, but I can hardly keep up with what I got now. Yeah, if somebody came and, a couple of times over this, people have wanted to do a TV series, and we came really close to actually pulling the trigger on doing one. But what stopped us is pure selfishness, because it's so much work. It really is, shooting stuff, that we wouldn't have had any fun to go do what we do this for, which is to go explore and see things. And as it is now, we have just started to realize that we have to take 2 or 3 times what we thought we would take to do everything, because we want to have downtime to go out and enjoy it. When you're constantly on deadline, it becomes work, and we don't ever want this to be work for us, even though it kind of is. But it's manageable. But a TV series would be fun in one sense, but it would be so much work. And for what?
I think it would double the amount of work, because someone else would be following you around and videoing everything you're doing. Yeah,
it's great. Charlotte left Corpus Christi, headed to Durango, Colorado, 2 of our favorite cities, by the way, to isolate. Me, hubby, and pups love campfires, especially your Friday night campfires. Be careful. Take care. We'll stay tuned in to see your videos. Well, thank you, Charlotte. I just want to say to you, which I've said to a couple others so far tonight, get there quick. Don't take a lot of time getting there. Just get where you got to go as fast as you can, and then hunker down. And I think that's really good. Can you talk about your feelings of having a B plus after having spent so much time in a B? What do you like less, more? Was the B more nimble? We get this question usually 2 or 3 times every night, every week for the last year. And we answer it probably different every time because we have
Depends
more
on how we're
experience.
feeling.
Yeah. So we love our B plus, and if we go to another vehicle, it'll probably be the same type of vehicle, a B plus in size. Why do we like it? Because it's more roomy inside, and it's more comfortable inside. And in terms of nimbleness, I notice absolutely no difference at all. The camper van, we love small motorhomes, be it a B plus. Really, our B plus is technically, we've told you this many times, it's a C. On the insurance papers, it's a class C. And they call it a B plus only because it is configured a little differently than the more boxy with that big overhand C. So it's just more room and it's more comfortable. I mean, I don't, we've got a couple of videos here in the channel that go show you exactly ours a million times.
What I like about the B plus is that the two that we had one for just 2 weeks. The bed was more comfortable, and you spend a lot of time sleeping. So, that is what I liked, and the part that I am more comfortable driving a B. I'll drive a B plus, but I'm a big wuss. I found the B a little more comfortable. Mike is just as happy as could be, and I've driven the B plus. It drives beautifully.
Now, if we had,
it's just my phobia.
we were considering trying to get back to our main Sticks and Bricks home in Michigan, and I said the only way I'd do that is we drove all the way through, and it's about a 20-hour trip, and we didn't. But so you would have driven it. I mean,
Yeah, I would have driven
it. Question from Thomas: do you keep Bo on a long leash, or do you use a fence like enclosure? Many campgrounds say 6-foot leash, but that's so short. Of course, boondocking is different.
6-foot leash.
And we were told we used to have a long leash, but our vet and a person that we used to help train Bo said don't ever use one of those because so many injuries happen because a dog will run out, it's a 20 foot or 15 feet or whatever it is, and they'll go after a rabbit and they'll run and they'll really damage their neck. And that does happen. So we were just told that they're very unsafe, and we got rid of all of our long leashes, and he's on a 6-foot leash. We've never had one of those little enclosures because Bo can jump 5 feet high, and he would jump over that. So we do have a longer rope that we keep him tied to if he wants to go out and lie around the RV wherever we're camped, and he seems to be good with that. So, and he's getting older, so he's not quite as active. He's still pretty active. And down here, we still can go to the dog park. Even though the beaches are closed, we have a little dog park. You'll see it in the video that comes out tomorrow, that you can take your dog. They even have a little beach there for them. And so that's our main outing of the day.
That is our outing.
And there's a few regulars that we're with that we know, and everybody's 6-7 feet away, never more than 2 or 3 other people. I think in one of the videos, there's about 5 dogs there that Bo was playing in the water with, but that's good. Robin checks in from Montana, and she says, Montanans are starting to get really upset with RVers. I've been telling you this now, guys, for 3 weeks. Our infrastructure is very slim to begin with, and we can't handle an influx at this time. I've had a couple of people write me from Montana and saying, please tell everybody in California not to come here, and don't tell everybody from back east, don't come here. It's still cold, they say, but they say we can't handle all of you coming in when our system is already under stress like this. And I don't blame them one bit. I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who think that they're going to go out and RV around. We have like 4 videos that we just shot in the last month down here in Florida. And we really had fun, and we have some great videos and places you can go and see. But we pretty much decided, at least not for another week or so, we're not going to release them because I don't want any of our videos to make people think that it's okay to go out and travel. It isn't. If you got to travel to get someplace to hunker down, that's one thing. But don't go put the RV lifestyle on hold. I got a really nasty note from somebody. I didn't show it to you because you take everything so personal, but he just went after me for daring to say that to put it on hold, and he bought his RV and he'll go wherever he wants to go, and you know, that's not. I guess I shouldn't have to point out the obvious here that this guy has some obvious issues about authority or life or what in general, but you know, this thing is real, and I hope everybody here. I'm sure you all know about it. So here's a comment from Sandy. South Carolina coastal cities, counties just canceled short-term rentals as of Sunday. That's what they just did here in Detroit, in Florida, and they also closed the state parks and everything until April 30th. And as of now, but that could change. I think that's probably wise. Close it far out, and then if you can, if situations change, then bring it in. But you're kind of like Florida because South Carolina, the Outer Banks, you know, North Carolina, those are big vacation places at Easter time. And we don't want people moving from state to vacation. And I mentioned in the video tomorrow, we've had probably half of the people who have already signed up to rent this place during the season, half of them have canceled. It's going to be a tough year for us with that. But we've given full refunds to them all, and come back, and you know they'll all come back. And you got to treat people fair, you know, and they'll treat you fair. When this postponement is over, I love the fact that Daniel said postponement. It's not canceling. We're just postponing. Is hauling bikes popular? What are the drawbacks?
Take a bike. It's your bike. You're familiar with it. It works properly. You know, yeah, take your own bike.
You know, people worry about mud and rain and everything. You know, where do you hold? How do you put it on a hitch on the back, or where do you carry it? I've seen a lot of people. Most people just get a cover and put it on there, and there aren't a lot of drawbacks on it. If you have a van and you have to open the back doors, that can be a problem. But there are even hitches now that'll mount on the door panel, and you can open the door. So yeah, just look around. It's always great to carry a bike, and it's great to carry an e-bike if you can. Those are very popular.
Saw a couple people riding e-bikes today.
Yeah, we did. Hello from Russian River, Thousand Trails. We're from Alaska and really want to be home this spring, hoping for the first week of May. That's a good time to shoot for. You certainly will have a much better idea. If it's not ready then, it won't be long, I think. Hopefully that's the case. Looking through for some more stuff. Let's kind of see if we've got lots of comments and questions, and I'll kind of go through and read them, but we're just looking for your questions. Nancy Jenkins says she's doing spring cleaning to pass the time. Well, that doesn't sound very fun, Nancy, but at least you're keeping busy. The full-time RVers have established residency in a state somewhere for their tags and driver's licenses, and I would hope they can find some place to hunker down in that state. Sharon, that is great advice, and that's what I recommend to full-timers. You know, everybody's proud that, hey, we're a full-time resident of Florida, even though they aren't. Well, you should be able to come into Florida because you've got Florida plates. And you just have to find a place that's open and that can take you in. And there are still private parks around that you can get in. I read a lot of people down in the Naples, Fort Myers area read today. The snowbirds all went home early. Most of the snowbirds left. Many of them left, and maybe half of them are half empty now. So you're just going to have trouble getting in if you don't have Florida plates right now.
I believe somebody had that Wyoming is open.
Wyoming state parks are open. Mm-hmm. You're one of the few. Michigan just closed their state parks this week.
And yeah.
And Lisa knows. Linda knows the Back Porch restaurant where we mentioned, and the Amberjack sandwich. You can get them bronzed, grilled, or blackened. Bronze is kind of a combination of the two. That's the way to get those things. We do love them. Mike, I have RV friends in Mexico. Do you think they should come home ASAP? I think they should have come home a long time ago. Frankly, I'd tell them to stay where they are. Mexico is going to get bad. But you're coming up through Arizona, you're coming up through Texas, or you're coming up through California. All those, maybe Texas is okay, depending on where they cross. But, I would urge them if they're in a nice park down there in Mexico, stay there until this is over.
Okay, so if they get sick in Mexico,
they should have, you got to think of these things when
I think
when
I'd
you
want to
stay
be
a
in
long
a
time.
hospital here.
Yeah, now a lot of the RV parks, it depends on what part. They're really nice parks,
Yeah.
and
But I'm
there's
just
great
saying,
medical
if you need a
places there.
hospital,
Yeah, but that's their decision. They certainly should know the situation there and wherever they have to go through. But certainly, it's only going to get worse. The travel and the risk of infection and the resentment in local communities of RVers passing through. It's only going to get worse. So if you're going home, you feel you got to go home or land someplace, do it now and do it as fast as you can, making contact with as few of people as you can.
now I got pneumonia. What,
1 year,
4 or 5 years ago? At
And we were in
Red,
Montana.
Red Lodge, Montana.
Little tiny town.
The hospital had 10 beds.
10. So you can think how they would feel in Red Lodge now if suddenly, because there's some great boondocking spots right out of town, if suddenly there's 30 RVers there. That's 30 people that have to compete with the few people that live in that community for that little 10-bed hospital if they got this virus. Worse yet, if somebody in that 30 had it, they would be, if they went in to get propane or fill up with water or to grocery shop, there are 30 more people that are in that community, 60 people probably if there were 30 RVs, that are just, the risk includes, and you can understand the resentment that people have. So, if you're going to hunker down someplace, you better have enough stuff on hand that you can go for a long time without having to go into the town, unless you know the people. And I mean, there's situations and everything. I'm just trying to give you where I see things going, and it's not good. Husband's supposed to retire next year. We're practicing being together 24/7 before we get our leisure travel van next year. So far, so good. Yeah. How have we done being together?
I think we've done
we're
fine.
good 24/7 all the time. It's tough because like we have anniversaries and birthdays, and I always would sneak out to get you a card, and I can never sneak out and get it because I'm always with you. We're pretty much together all the time. And
I like one couple. They showed them in the card shop, and they just picked up a card and handed it to each other. They didn't bother buying it because cards are really expensive nowadays.
Yeah. Larry says, I pay to park in a motorhome park now, just so I am safe and off the places. I had to find a part to move regularly, and it's money spent well. So this way I can isolate myself and use their facilities. Mm-hmm. Stay there. That's, stay right there. Can I change my RV villager name I have? I mentioned your site. I don't know. I'm not a member of our village. I don't know a thing about it. So I'm not a member. I think they approached us once about doing something with them years ago, and I don't know. I don't know anything about it, Nancy. Sorry. Hello from Idaho. Thank you for supporting small business restaurants. Oh my gosh, my heart goes out to small business restaurants. People don't know how hard that is. You don't open a restaurant to get rich. You really have a love of food and people and serving, and this thing has hit so many so hard. And the food industry is just it's reeling from this. This happened like that. And I feel so bad for so many other people, and I can just hope that we can get to an end of it. And the only way we can do that is if we all do our part. And RVers, that means don't be traveling and staying in one spot. Are you two still thinking of traveling and going home to Michigan? Not for a while. I mean, we'd both like to. Jennifer needs, but her gyms up there are closed. The gyms here are closed.
But up there, I've got workout equipment at home. I can open the door and Bo can run outside. It's not like trying to be quiet because we're in a condo. And Mike gave me he found me an exercise class to do, and I thought I can't go stomping around. Poor people down below. Somebody was exercising the other day out on their little balcony. Bo wasn't barking at them. I think he was barking at kids because they were barking at him down below us. I mean, when you live in a condo, I've never wanted to live full-time in a condo because of noise.
Yeah.
You have to be considerate of your neighbors. At least I was raised, you're supposed to be considerate of your neighbors.
Yeah. Here it is up to Here's up to physical from social distance here in Medicine Hat, Alberta. Okay, whatever that means. In normal times, have you ever had to seek medical advice when on the road?
Oh, yeah.
What do you do in a town you've never been to and needing a doctor?
You go to the emergency room.
And that's what people don't want us doing now. Plus, why would you go to an emergency room if you're not sure you have it? You up your chances of getting it in an emergency room now. This is why you want to stay someplace and stay away from other people for a long time.
Big
So
city people are used to clinics that you can get to, but not everybody has that.
Now, in normal
Access.
times, we've never had any worries. No, we've had to go to ERs. Didn't you find a dentist someplace once? Or you called your dentist?
I called my dentist and he gave me a prescription. No,
We've run out
the
of
worst thing was
pneumonia.
no, your gallbladder being taken
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Because that didn't need to come out.
Oh, yeah. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, it's a whole nother story.
Yeah, well,
If you got a problem, tend to it. So
Yeah.
it doesn't become an emergency on the road.
And-
Don't be in denial.
just talking to me, I think. But that was about 3 years ago. We were on our way out to
About 4 or 5
Glacier
years
National
ago?
Park. I think it's maybe 4 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
They all blur together in one great trip. And I had these pains in my around my back. They're kind of running around the back and in my abdomen area, and I didn't know what it was, and I ignored it. And we got in the vehicle. We were driving, and we made our way around Lake Michigan, and we're up in Wisconsin, and they didn't go away. And so you were in a store, and I didn't go in the store with you. I said, I got to make a phone call, and I called my doctor back in Michigan.
Your gastroenterologist.
And he said, I can't diagnose on the phone. He says, get to the nearest big city hospital and have them do an ultrasound. So, okay. And I told her, and we looked it up, and the nearest big city to us at that point was, we were almost through Wisconsin, was Rochester, Minnesota, which is the location of the Mayo Clinic. So we went to the Mayo Clinic emergency room. Long story short, they ended up taking out my gallbladder in emergency surgery. I don't think that was necessary.
The
now.
long story short was the next day when they came in to release you, you said, I still have that pain. And they
Yeah.
said, oh, it's just from the surgery, whatever. But no.
That turned out to be a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
That was a lost summer, really. But we still RV'd. So anyway, Dan, in normal times, it's not a problem. Many of you know I do a text piece on NBC. I'm doing there is PC Mike. And if you go to my website for that, it's pcmike.com. pcmike.com. It's not personally or politically correct. It's like personal computer. pcmike.com. And either last week or the week before, I had a video about 3 or 4 apps that you could have that will let you get in contact with a doctor, either by video chat or phone or whatever. So check those out, and you can see that. I should probably put that video, make a visual version of that, and maybe I'll put it here on the RV Lifestyle channel as well. But you can normally find one. I don't have a home, only a camper van. Airbnb runs out Tuesday morning. I don't know what to tell you. Get another one. Find another one. Or get someplace where you can stay. Hey, Mike and Jen, I'm your new fan. Just finished reading your book on how to buy an RV. Oh, great. Thank you. And hopefully you can get one. And that would be great. How's your step working? And what had to be fixed? Oh, we fixed that.
Yeah,
Easy.
the motor burned out.
It was what happened, we're convinced now, is I took the van in to get service on the engine, the oil change and stuff. And when whoever the tech was, he opened the side door, and the step tried to get out, and it was pushed against something else, and it couldn't get out. This is the theory, and
This is a theory.
It kept trying to open, and it burned out, but it was fixed under
Because
warranty.
the step worked
Yeah,
before you
perfect
had
before I
it
got there.
serviced.
And so, that's my suspicion.
I mean, that's
It
our
was
theory. We don't know.
It was a
an
deal.
accident.
But anyway, it was easy to fix. Very easy to fix. What's your day like? Feels like Groundhog Day to us. Get up, go for a walk, watch TV, and then start. Yes.
Okay, we saw a really cute cartoon on Facebook. Everybody's, making fun of everything. And some dog was way up high on some cabinet because he didn't want to go for another walk.
And the caption said something like, "I don't care what you say, I'm not going for another walk." Now, Bo would go for a walk. Bo
He might sit
see
down.
If I can show
He
Bo
might
now.
sit down. Bo's sleeping right behind us. It's going to crash and burn.
There
Yeah,
he is.
he's
lying
back
right
there.
behind
He's
us.
sleeping. He's resting up because he knows he's going to get a walk.
So again, we have a video coming out tomorrow that shows you how we're hunkered down
Yeah,
here.
how our day goes.
Don't get mad at us. We're allowed to go shopping if we have to.
For groceries.
We're allowed to
Or
get
drugstore.
exercise, walk the dog, and we have a dog park we can go to. And we can go use our pool deck. There's nobody staying in this condo, so there's no problem with
Very
social
few
distancing.
people.
There's only, if there's a dozen people here, they're never all together. So we have it pretty nice, actually.
Yeah, we do.
But we'll show you what our life, and it is. I've done a lot of work.
I mean, if I had to get locked in this space, I am an outdoor person. I am not an indoor person. And I like to move and do things. And it's getting hot and humid out there. And I just kind of melt as we're walking. But I'm grateful that we can go outside because if I had to get locked in here, I would start jumping up and down. The neighbors would have to hear it.
Lance keeps asking me this question. This is the third time he's answered it. I
Well,
answered it
maybe
the
you
first
missed it.
time. So go back and listen. I have friends in RV. Do you think they should come home?
Yes.
Well, I think they should stay where they are.
Oh, you think they should stay
yeah,
where they are?
I don't-
Well,
yeah.
the only reason I say yes is in case they get sick, what kind of hospital are they going to be at?
Well, I'm sure they put that into consideration if there's,
When they went
yeah,
there.
Yeah, so
They went to Mexico, so they
that's-
weren't worried about getting
yeah,
sick.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on where they have to go. So, but we
tend-
answer that in detail.
I tend to be a
below.
little paranoid about if something happens, where do they take me?
Okay, let's go through and see who else is on here. I'm looking for questions. State parks in South Carolina are closing through April. In case any of my future nomad family will be driving through. Yeah, they're everywhere pretty much.
Well, we're at the condo. Our RV is out in the parking lot. We get a spot way at the end.
Are the Florida checkpoints only for those coming in and not trying to get out? No, they want you to get out. Get out. Go. Come back later. No, it's for those coming in. Commercial traffic is fine, and they're looking for out of state. And the governor said that they will pull you over if you try and get around it. So, I mean, I don't know what they do or say, but they're trying to keep people from bringing the virus with them, and particularly this is for all those states that are on shelter-in-place orders. Don't come to Florida, and they really don't want anybody out of state coming to Florida. But you can leave. They don't stop you for leaving, and that's great. Gosh, you guys are everywhere. They're limiting state park facilities in Michigan as of tonight. Saw that. Yep. Wonder if you think prices might be lower when things settle down. If anything,
They'll go
they're
up.
going to go up because it's it was
demand.
a seller's market before, and the demand is only going to increase. So those of you who figured, well, I'm going to wait till things come down, I don't think they're going to come down. I think these things are going to get as expensive as they are, even more expensive. We're in Tucson, Arizona, and our shelves are pretty stripped. Still hard to find toilet paper, Kleenex, wipes, napkins. Kathy, if this is any help, it cuts both ways. People told us here that we are a week behind much of the rest of the country. And a week ago, they were saying, hey, we're starting to, this is back in our family in Michigan, they were saying, hey, the stores are pretty good. They're all stocking up and they're being replenished. And here they weren't. Well, now they are. And so I think this is probably going from east to west. And your stores, I'm sure they'll get that worked out.
They'll work it out.
On the other hand, the downside of that is the peak of the virus, which has hit New York. It is now really wreaking havoc in Michigan, in Illinois. New Orleans is another incredible hot spot to our west. That's moving also east to west, and then some of it's moving from California and Washington. So, that's what we all just kind of need to sit here. Do you prefer to use a macerator when dumping black tanks? The only thing I'll have, I do not. I think the one we have can be either gravity or a macerator.
That's not my job.
That's not her job. And that's the only one I'd have. And if we whatever RV we get, I want a macerator on it. It's neat, it's clean, and I'm delighted. Don is in Germany, so we really have a pretty good international audience here tonight. It's great to see so many of you there. Comment from East Tennessee. Usually I'm prepping to travel to northern Michigan this time of year. The situation has given me time to do some RV maintenance I had planned to do in Michigan. David, you don't want to be in Michigan. The hospitals in the southeastern part of the state are totally overwhelmed. Just horrible stories coming out of there. So you do not want to go to southeastern Michigan, which is where our permanent home is. It's another reason we don't plan to go back there. You probably get asked your scariest animal encounter camping.
Glacier National Park.
Yeah.
I looked and I saw a mama bear.
Wait, we're on a hike. We're leading
a
a hike. Understand that?
No, it was just the two of us. I was thinking a different story. I was thinking the different story when I looked at you and I said, the elephant crossed the road
Oh, yeah. That was right.
to see the giraffe. And you looked at me like she's finally flipped. She's nuts.
We're hiking along.
And I said something absolutely absurd.
And she stops and she looks at me and she says, the elephant crossed the road to see the giraffe. And I kind of went, what?
And there was a mama bear and her cub, like just a couple feet from us.
If
and
they were 10
I wanted
feet,
to
that was
speak
long.
calmly, and I just wanted to say something so that she would know we were there.
And you had stopped. You stopped.
I stopped. But I wanted her to know we were there, and I didn't want to scare her, and I wanted you to know that there was a bear just a couple feet from us with a cub, which is never a good thing.
And
that's what I thought of, but you thought of another one.
Yeah, we had another bear encounter at Glacier a couple years after that. But yeah, that was probably the closest because I had my camera with me and I had a telephoto lens on it. And this bear was so close, I couldn't shoot the bear because it was too close. I mean, it was no farther than 10 feet. And she came out. She was all wet because they just had crossed the creek. And I figured, okay, she certainly heard us because we weren't, we were coming down the trail. And so she kind of moved off. And then right behind her was this little roly-poly, cute little cub that looked like he wanted to come up and play with us.
Munching berries.
And I figured, oh, here we go.
And the sad thing is they probably had to put the bear and the cub down because they were too close to people.
And so they kind of crossed the trail, and then they were eating berries, and we just kind of were backing off as slowly as we can, having our normal little conversation. But yeah, that was probably the scariest. It was also the coolest. I got some great pictures of that little cub eating berries, but and I had to back far away so I could get it with the telephoto. That's really good. What drone do you fly? I have the Mavic Air Pro, I think, the Mavic Air Pro. And I debated taking it up for the video I shot yesterday and decided not to do it. Let's see where we are. I'm going through a question. It's another question of what drone did you fly? It's the same guy asked it. Okay, answered that. Should I change the virus topic by asking about your weight management in this lockdown? No, you should not. What do you do? We're not exercising.
Actually, not exercising is a really big deal because I'm losing weight. I've lost about 5 pounds that I really wanted to get off, but today I went, that's just muscle because you lose your muscle first. And I don't have that much muscle to lose because the older you get, the harder it is to have any muscle.
Yeah, the big thing is there's no exercise. And
lack of exercising.
And up until we came here, I do it's called intermittent fasting. 1 meal a day. It means basically I eat from 2 to 6. I can eat in that period, and we haven't been doing that. And it's awkward. It's because you're so far removed from your norm.
But I have been cooking. I've been cooking a lot. You've really enjoyed that.
Yeah, we have had. She's been cooking, and I can't believe the meal you whipped up tonight. So, but Carlo, mind your own business. I'm just kidding. Comment from earlier comment about going to QC, Quebec City, TT, Thousand Trails. Yeah, we're not Thousand Trails people, Tim, so that's why you threw me on that. I kept thinking, travel trailer? Thousand Trails, yep. Hi from Winnipeg, Canada. Jim is up there. We've been to Winnipeg. That's just north of Winkler, Manitoba, Canada. Jim is hunkered down, trying to physically distance. Be safe, be well. You guys too. Ontario has declared a civil emergency. How do you determine if a condo has a no RV restriction? You ask.
Yeah, you just have to ask.
Just ask, they'll tell you. The easy answer is just ask, but realtors are not always informed. Well, they will. Tell them you're not coming. We've actually rented them. That's how we found this area. We rented ourselves here before, and we had lots of room in the one we rented in Destin. Remember that? So we see a lot of C's. I don't see B's. I don't see people with travel trailers. Those just don't work. They're too big.
They're too big.
But if you have a B or a C, you shouldn't have a problem. But
And who
always
knows
ask.
when they'll change it? I mean,
Yeah.
people can change anything they want. I think we're grandfathered in because we've been here 4 years.
Somebody says, I love how he looks to her for agreement. You two are cute.
I don't want to you don't want me to turn on you.
I don't want her to say anything that gets her mad at me. That's all. Because if she turns on me. Where did you get your snap pads? What size? Snap pads, we all wonder, we have automatic levelers on our RV, and these are little pads that snap on. And we got ours, where did I get ours? At Hershey? At the Hershey RV show.
I think so, one of the shows.
At an RV show, they had a display there. But if you look up Snap Pad, you can go to their website and then just tell them the size or what vehicle you have and how big your, they all have standardized, whatever kind of leveler system you have. I think ours are, I can't remember the name of it, but just tell them the brand of your leveling system and they'll fix you right up. Leslie is here. And he's far away from us, 12 miles down the road in Navarre, Florida. And he's been hunkered down. I know that too. My wife and I are enjoying our RV in our driveway. Oh, that's it. We got our kid, Jeff, up in Michigan, did a FaceTime with us the other night, and he and his wife, Amy, and our grandkids, Jovi and Jax.
And 4.
They were in their their travel trailer, and they were using that. They were playing and having a great time. Amy and Jovi were doing a puzzle, and Jax was jumping off the bed.
That's when you're 2 years old.
So they were out in their backyard doing it, and
I mean, they've done yard work.
Yeah.
They rotate the kids around. Listening tonight, I don't know if I should even mention it, a question from some person asking a question at the press conference about what do you do with your kids? Interact with your kids.
Yeah.
Everything's a season, a short season. This will pass.
Yeah.
If you got kids, guess what? They're your kids.
Kathy, for campgrounds that have a burn ban, do you guys bring a portable propane fire pit? And have you seen these directly connected to RV propane? We've seen them. We love it when somebody else has them, but we don't carry one because
Takes up room.
and we're not big campfire people in general.
Because I have allergies.
She doesn't like the smoke. I don't mind it but if we're in a group, if we have friends around us, we'll often have a fire because they're fun to hang out. But if it's just the two of us, I love to go outside in the dark and just sit there with all the lights off and look at the sky if it's clear. We just did that. We just camped deep in the Everglades at the Flamingo Park in the Everglades. Not been there. I have a video that I'm ready to do on that, but it's awesome. And I went out at night and actually I shot with my iPhone 11 in that night mode. And that was a pretty good picture.
And keep your fingers crossed the mosquitoes aren't out when you go.
Yeah,
Because we didn't have any bugs. It was windy and it was cool. It was wonderful.
But wow, that was fun.
Yeah.
I mentioned that we have a number of videos ready to be edited, but I'm really reluctant to start releasing them, at least for a while, because I don't want people to think I'm encouraging folks to travel. Even in our social media, when we're linking to various stories and videos that we've done, we say, hey, when you get ready to travel again, here's something to look at. But I don't want anybody to think that we're encouraging people to travel at this time. So that's one of the reasons we added this, so we can stay in contact with y'all. And we do our Sunday night. Don't forget, we do this again on Sunday night. It's called Ask Us Anything. Same time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and
You're going to get pretty sick of what we're doing.
You're going to get real sick of us, yeah.
Got tonight, then we got tomorrow your video, what we do.
With the borders clocking down, you won't be taking possession of those vehicles from Canada for at least 2 to 3 months, if not longer. Take up knitting. Yeah, I don't know how it works. I think the borders aren't closed because Canada can still ship to their dealers. And although I did notice today that La Mesa RV in Albuquerque, which is where we bought our RV last year, they closed. They are temporarily closed during this, their Albuquerque dealership. But they can still ship to their dealers that's still allowed as they finish up. As long as they're producing, they can still ship. So I don't think that's. I think they'll be coming through. I got to get this ended pretty quick, but what do you think about having a lift on the back of a Class A tag axle to carry a gas-powered golf cart, and also flat tow a Jeep Wrangler? You know, Sandy, I don't know much about Class A's. We've never even, other than walk in a couple at a show, we never have driven one. We've never camped in one. We should sometime, so we should probably borrow one or get one for a weekend from somebody. But I see a lot of people flat towing Jeeps. I think that if I had to do it, I'd want to pull it on a trailer, just to save the mileage on it. And a golf cart is great if you're going to be in a place that has pavement. But you know, a lot of the places that we camp, you know, are not well equipped for a Class A. They don't, you know, we like the boondock. So I'm not a good source on all of that, but I would look into trailer.
Yeah, it's 5 after 8.
Oh my gosh!
Or
Okay,
7.
we have so many
Michigan
people
time.
on that
Eastern.
I'm gonna
They'll
go.
have to come back Sunday.
Yeah. You guys, you ask a lot of questions, and gosh, I wish I'm going through them really quick, but I can't get to them because we've been on an hour and 6 minutes, and
I got to get something out of the oven.
you got to get something. Is that the smoke I smell? Well, so much for the cooking. So, hey, we will be back Sunday night. Ask us anything. And 7 o'clock Eastern time. And a new video out tomorrow that kind of chronicles our life here in social distancing Florida. With all the people gone, I think you'll be impressed at how well Florida has done in this part about getting the crowds down. And we show you that. We show you how we live. We even show you a little bit of the condo and a couple of RV tips. And that's going to be released at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Now, if you have not subscribed to our channel, do that. And when you do, there's a little bell icon. And if you click that bell icon, then you get notified when we go on live, or you get notified when we have a new video out. So subscribe and click that bell icon. We do these updates live like this. If there's something major that happens, like I was going to go on live just to announce the Florida checkpoints for visitors. And I figure I can wait to that to tonight. But so subscribe and click that button. And also, we want them to give us a thumbs up. Would you give us a thumbs up and like the button? People get mad at me when I say put the RV lifestyle on hold. I hope you guys aren't mad at us, but we're speaking from our hearts here. As journalists, we stay really on top. I spend way too much time on this story, but it's still going to get bad. You know that. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. We have not seen the worst of it. And what we can do is follow what our health officials say. Stay put. Start dreaming, making that list of where you want to go. And we'll be here as often as we can to keep in touch with you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to Chris for being here. I'm sorry if I missed questions. We had, I think, a record number of people watching us tonight. Come back again. Subscribe to the channel, though, will you? Because that's the best way to stay informed. And we'll see you guys down the road. Thank you so much for being with us.